Sex, 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 sex. Nigga know I got it. Sex, sex, sex,
I got it.
sex, sex,
Time me you and young gon' got that cash out in you one time.
Got sick raps and big sex. I'm filled up with big gas. Who will fuck you? Try us. Them hoes won't deny us. My swag get me everything else. Money can't buy, bro. I'm the truth for God, Lord. Jehovah Elijah. That dope so tall till the hard to see. I'm never where you wanna be. Can't dodge G. Running with a cool nigga harder than me. 12 years in the game, no robbery. Ain't nigga talk that shit I do for real. I brought Maybach's cash brand new for real. I left here for the crib. It's super deal. My crack is a little off my deal. You chill, I'm still paid. This music, it will wait. That 100, they still hate. Twice and I'm still straight. Got old money and a new bank. Nigga who ain't one movie made like you can't. I sacked up what you think.
In the club going hard, niggas know I got them racks. In the kitchen whipping hard, niggas know I got this sex. In this bitch going hard, niggas know I got them racks. In the kitchen whipping hard, niggas know I got this sex. Quiet, quiet.
Okay, y'all. So, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday and shit like that, you know. So I just came to talk to y'all and shit like that, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing going on. I don't have nothing going on. Like, I'm gonna talk a little stuff, you know what I mean, about the beef sector, have some general conversation. Now, last time I had spoke with y'all, I told y'all that I'm getting this channel together and I'm going to try to content create a little bit more. But this channel is going to be a hybrid channel. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit to talk about. And if I actually do dig up into that type of avenue and shit like that, you know what I mean? I could grow this thing up if I really want to. You know what I mean? I know a lot of shit. I talk a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I did a thing, you know, I'm working on getting this channel together, you know what I mean, so it can, you know, earn again. And then once that takes place, I'll be, you know what I mean, going back to grabbing the amped up StreamYard and doing my thing, my topics and stuff like that, because it's going to be a hybrid channel because whenever I'm from the beef sector, you know what I mean? Beef sector is always going to be a part of me. So when something's going on, I'm just going to pop up periodically like I do and talk about that shit. But I don't force content and commentary like some of these people. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, old folks and shit like that. I'm going to drag old folks when I feel the need and stuff like that. But old folks, he's, you know what I mean, boring and shit like that. You know, he wanted to go live yesterday and stuff like that. He just didn't have nothing to go on. He had to wait for Envy and shit like that. And now he calls himself picking on Envy and Mr. Carruthers. I don't talk about dumb shit. You know what I mean? If I ain't coming to drag a bitch and shit like that, what's up, Deanna? I'm not coming up on here forcing content. And I'm just going to use him like a little bit, but he put something like Miss Brenda, something in his title. I don't even know who that is. Who the hell is Miss Brenda? Like, you just running around watching. I would never be that thirsty. That's why I don't come on here. That's why I don't come on here. I come once in a while when it's really good. Something happened with Rodney. If it's a good storyline, I'm going to come up on here and I'm going to talk about it. You know, some beef sector shit. If there's a good storyline, it's something that excites me. But I will never be up on here every day just watching these people's boring lives and stuff and forcing content on shit that I don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like people's relationships and I don't know what they got going on panels and stuff like that. Like the stuff they talk about, I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's just boring to me. So I won't be doing that. Only when something's exciting, while I give y'all exciting beef sector live. Other than that, I'll be making real content and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And talking about that real shit. So since I know where we're at, we're in the beef sector and stuff like that. And I do have an opinion on what's up, Meow? Yeah, I just came live. What's up, Hypnotic? What's up, everybody? And happy Friday to y'all. But since I know where we're at and what we just came off and stuff like that, there's only one thing that I want to speak about concerning the beef sector. And, you know, I just want to say it publicly and stuff like that. And it's concerning Envy and shit like that. Like, I just watched like what unfolded. Like, I have watched like us, you know what I mean? Fuck, because that's what we do. This is the beef sector. It's roast, gags, and drags and shit like that. And you can be a friend of the show. You don't have to do what we do. You don't have to be us or nothing to fit in with nobody around here or no type of shit like that. There's many of channels that I used to like to go to everybody pretty much left the beef sector, but not everybody that hung out with us beefed and stuff like that. There was places I liked to go. I mean, like Food Junkie, he would beef and stuff like that. But I mean, and shout out to Food Junkie, you know what I mean? But he would beef and stuff, but he would just do lives and do his cooking and do his sewing and stuff like that. And I also go to James for that type of shit. James don't always beef. James don't always clean motherfuckers up and shit like that. He be over there, you know what I mean, having intimate lives, you know, or we'll go over there on the Spill It Boy TV channel and have discussions about real shit and shit like that when we want to relax and we want to have a good time and stuff like that. So there's nothing wrong with being one of them channels. There's people that I go to when I want to escape the mess and get out the bullshit and just go chill and have a good time. There's people around here that have channels. And so that's really how I see envy and shit like that. You know what I mean? This is what I would want to say. You know what I mean? Like, we fucked old folks up because that's what we do. We fuck bitches up. It just ain't him. That's what it is. You know what I mean? That's what, you know, we give. For envy, I just been watching him and his situation that he has with old folks and stuff like that. And I mean, old folks do that too. You know what I mean? He's, you know, like a little shock jock. He want to get attention and shit like that. He want to, you know, try to roast or do whatever he do over there on his end for entertainment and shit like that. If you're not that type of content creator, this is why I want to say the envy, because I mean, I talk to people behind the scenes and I talk to you behind the scenes, envy and shit like that. And if you're not that type of content creator, this is what I want to say to you. If you're not that type of content creator, you don't have to be that type of content creator. I just want you to be yourself. Just be yourself and whoever you are and deliver your content and your commentary how you do. You know what I mean? So if people are trying to pressure you into roasting and gagging and dragging and shit like that, and that's not you, and that's not something that you're into, and that's not your personality and shit like that, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can just do what you do and be yourself. We'll like you regardless. I like you regardless. I don't care if you get into an argument with somebody and you respond roasting and gagging it. Not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? We're comedians and shit like that. We put on the show. We're roasters. We're draggers and shit like that. But that's why we are who we are. And that's why we lasted this long in the beef sector. People that came in here and tried to do it and couldn't do it, they're not here no more. We ran them off quickly. They didn't last a month or two. You know what I'm saying? So we understand that you are a friend of the sector. We're not saying like you're beef sector. You're not even claiming that. You know what I'm saying? You're a friend of the sector and we hang out with you. And you know what I mean? We, you know, we network together and we coexist and shit like that. People like you regardless. You don't have to roast, gag, or drag or whatever when you're confronted and stuff like that. Now, but this is my opinion as a content creator. So my opinion as a content creator watching and stuff like that, I see that you feel that you're pressured because a lot of your commentary is, I guess, responding to what you see people writing and stuff like that. And so you're explaining yourself as to, well, I can roast. I have roasted before, but I don't want to roast. That's not really a part of my... Just be yourself. You don't have to explain nothing to nobody or no type of shit like that, period, point blank. You're not held to no type of standard or the same standards that we're held to or anything else. You're just a friend of our sector and stuff like that. So you don't have to, just because you're a friend of our sector, don't mean you have to do what we do to fit in. Just be yourself, period. Another thing, you are... And there's nothing wrong with that or nothing like that, because I mean, it's on the internet, it's most people. But if you want to be a civilian, be a civilian. Nobody's holding you to no gangster standard. And I'm not saying nobody is. This is my opinion. Nobody's holding you to no gangster standard or whatever like that. So if you feel threatened by somebody, because the beef sector get bitches together in a multitude of ways. I want to speak on your petition and stuff like that, or whatever that petition stuff like that. That's only going to make him go harder and make him drag you harder and use you even more for content and shit like that. He don't give a fuck about that. Don't nobody give a fuck about that. He's a grown ass man. Like, what is the Masons? He ain't even in the motherfucking Masons, first and foremost. He ain't in no Masons or nothing like that. I'm saying, like, either press the gas or fall back. That's what I'm saying. Like, because the petition thing, like, he's a grown ass man. What's the Masons going to do? Go over his house with a belt and whoop his ass or something like that? He's a grown ass man. He don't give a fuck about that. All he's going to do is make fun of you for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't a petition. You know how many petitions I got? I don't know. Jay Dunn probably had petitions on her and stuff. We're still here. Nothing happened to us and nothing's going to happen to us. My name's on petitions and shit like that. Sean Bradley has petitions. James has petitions. Deanna's name was on a petition. I'm sure probably Jay Dunn's name was on a petition before. Tracy's had petitions and stuff like that. We're still here rocking and rolling. Nothing ever happened to us based on no petitions or no type of shit like that. And he got petitions. I'm grown. I don't give a fuck. You have petitions on you, Jay Dunn? Yeah. I'm grown. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking petition. Ain't nobody doing shit to me. So what I'm saying is, yeah, and Corio said, like, we're petitioned out. That petition shit don't do nothing. It don't work. Even if he is a Mason, he's a grown-ass man. They're not going over there whooping his ass with no belt or nothing like that. This is what I'm saying. He don't care about that. Okay? He's not a Mason anyway, but he don't give a fuck about that anyway. I'm telling you right now, he don't. And so, but you are a civilian and stuff like this. And like I said, if you don't want to read, roast, gag, and drag, whatever, you ain't went all the way there with him anyway. He went all the way there. So if you want to be a civilian, this is my advice. And you want to get somebody up off your back, if you're not going to roast and gag and cussing the fuck out, because that's what I would have did. At least call, like, you don't have to roast or nothing like that. At least call him a bag of bitches or something like that. That's what I would have did. Like, you know what I mean? Because how it looks to me is like he jumped on your girl. You know what I mean? And RNY, you know, she handling her business and shit like that. What's up, Gertie? What's up, TT? She knows she's cussing him out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you could have just cussed him out, called him a bag of weak punk pussy ass bitches and shit. Like, you don't have to go to the extremes that Rick Reed would go to. Like, you don't have to say, like, you know, you wish on the first day of school one of them kids knock his motherfucking grandson in the head with a fucking trapper keeper and take his apple juice. You don't have to go there. You know what I'm saying? But you could call him like a bunch of bag of bitches, punk pussy bitches and shit like that. But your approach, listen, if that ain't you, just be yourself. That don't have to be you. But instead of a petition, then, if you're gonna do something to somebody and you don't want to argue back and drag nobody and put nobody in the corner and all that type of shit, and that ain't gonna be your approach, go to the police and file harassment charges and put some real papers up in his life. Go down there and file a real restraining order to where if he says your name and he harasses you, because you're a civilian. Like, you're already doing petitions, so what they gonna call you, a snitch? They could say the petition shit's a motherfucking snitching and shit like that. So if you're gonna be a civilian, just go to the police station and put some harassment. You ain't said nothing crazy back to him. It only been him attacking you. So at this point, you know what I mean? Just show what he showed and go on down there and put some harassment charges on him and put a restraining order on him to where he can't fuck with you and say nothing to you online. But also in your response and stuff like that is you're like, I don't know, maybe you want the clout or something a little bit, because they're like, well, he did that to you and you're going to press the gas and you're calling the brothers and you're still doing a petition. But then you was like, but you know, if I see him somewhere on a panel and he wants to get up on there and he just did it on Lemons, like, y'all still doing content together. So are you really outraged, or, you know, if there's something to talk about and, you know, we have to get on a link and stuff like that. So you're not sure all the way if you want to cut him off. You was like, oh, well, he is blocked, but I let him on the link. You let him on your own link, went over there on the link. You're not sure if you want to cut him all the way off because you're not sure if you might need to or want to do content with him later. I don't know. I don't know. But either drag them. This is what I'm saying. Either drag them or go to the police station and file some real charges and get a real restraining order. That petition shit, that's only going to get you clout. Nothing's happening to, I'm telling you right now, I'm just going to be straight up with you. You can call the brothers, you can call the mothers, you can call anybody and have any panels and discussions about what he said and what he did. That is going to do absolutely nothing. He's still going to be up on here running his mouth, and he's still going to be up on here talking and shit. And he's just going to make fun of you. That's just going to make you look foolish and shit like that. You either really get a bitch up off you by going to the motherfucking police and pressing some motherfucking real charges and putting some real papers in her motherfucking life, or you drag him, or you just drop it all together and let it go and y'all do content and commentary together. 1099, we're talking about Envy and his response to ZX. Yeah, just go ahead and put the case him up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other people in the beef sector like that. Yeah, they'll roast, gag, and drag you. You know what I mean? They'll do all kind of shit like that. But there's also people in the beef sector that will put some real. They ain't gonna play with you. They're not playing with no petitions and playing. Oh, I'm gonna get up. No, they're gonna go put some real motherfucking papers in your life and have you sitting up in a motherfucking courtroom explaining some motherfucking shit. That's what they're going to do. Or they're going to put a real lawsuit on your ass. They're going to put some real criminal charges up in your motherfucking life and shit like that. Or they're going to get a real motherfucking restraining order and really back you the fuck up. And if you don't want to get back the fuck up, you're going to get locked the fuck up if you break this motherfucking order, this court order. But that petition shit, that ain't nothing. That don't work. We're too small. Who's signing it? What's happening after the petition? I want to know, because I had a petition on me for years and shit like that. It probably got thousands of signatures, and I was still up on here dragging the same motherfucking kids and doing all the type of shit that I was on a petition for. So I'm not telling others how to fight. He can do whatever he wants. I just said he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants, Josh, Karen. But this is my commentary and my content. So I don't give a fuck. I'll say what I want and tell however they go about it. They can go about it however the fuck they want. They're grown. But I'm doing content right now, and this is what the fuck's on my mind. So this is what I said, and this is what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't give a fuck if you don't like it or who don't like it. I'm speaking my motherfucking mind and doing content and commentary. That's what I do, and that's what the fuck I think. He can run around here looking corny if he wants to, and and embarrassing himself if he wants to. That's on him. I'm just saying I don't really want that for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Envy. He's a nice guy and everything. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a nice guy and you just want to do your commentary and shit like that, and you don't really want to get nasty or no shit like that, go put some real papers up in his life and really back him the fuck up off you. Because I know that's what's going to happen if he keeps fucking with Brooke. Mm-hmm. See, he's talking to Malik and shit like that. I don't even think he knows Brooke that well, and she don't do what's up, Ken, and she don't do all of what she used to do and stuff like that. So she's allowing him to talk, but he don't really know Brooke like that. You know what I'm saying? Brooke will really go down there and really put some motherfucking papers in your life and really have you up in court. Malik ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? Malik ain't gonna do that. He just gonna cuss you out and do what he do. And, Brooke will cuss you out and drag you and do what you do, too. But if you press too crazy with her, she'll have you down there, and you'll have to come from Philadelphia and go down there to answer to the charges that she puts up on your ass and shit like that. And they'll have a restraining order on you. They really do that shit. That's what I'm saying. If you're really going to do it, just do it. Don't play with it. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying with that situation. And then I think why I'm saying that you don't have to be like us if you don't roast, gag, and drag or whatever. You don't have to be like us. You don't have to do what we do or whatever. Just be yourself. Like I said, we like you. We accept you for who you are. You do not have to be nothing but yourself. Period. Point blank. We fuck with you. Yeah. I had to come out. There ain't really nothing going on over here in this sector, Ken. There ain't really nothing, you know what I mean, to talk about. They make me want to go start watching motherfucking Atlanta street interviews and shit like that and talk about them motherfuckers or something. About to jump up in another sector or some type of shit. But, where's my coffee at? Oh, it's right here. Then right after that, I don't know what happened with you and Pizarro because you said you took the video down. All I seen was her video. And she went over there and cussed you the fuck out. She cussed you all the way out and drugged you and every motherfucking thing. And then I think yesterday, you know what I mean, at work and shit, I was listening to you. I didn't even know y'all got into it until I seen her video the night before. She just cussed you out and drugged you like she do. And then I heard your response and you're like, well, she didn't really drag me that bad. I don't give, if she cussed at me a little bit, I'm cussing her the fuck out. And the same thing, if I said something to her, she gonna cuss me the fuck out, and I'm gonna come up on here and cuss her back the fuck out, or vice versa. Like, if we say something that each other don't like, we're cussing each other the fuck out, period, point blank. She gonna cuss me out, or I'm gonna cuss her out. We gonna cuss each other the fuck out, period, point blank. She did drag you and cuss you out and stuff like that. And I feel like you should have cussed her back. I can't tell people how to fight, but you know what I mean? I feel like you should have cussed her back out, and then y'all could have been cool and shit. We cussed each other out, and we're cool. That's my little, B sector sister. If we got to cuss each other out, we just drag each other, cuss each other out or whatever, and then bygones is bygones, and we go on and continue to do what we do. You said Envy comes off weak as fuck. I wouldn't say weak. I would say that who he is and the type of content creator, that's who he is, and that's the type of content creator. He's not the same type of content creator as us. So just be yourself. Don't explain that. And don't because it's your explanations that, well, I can roast, but I don't want to roast. Well, I don't really roast. That's not the type I am or whatever. Or you know what I mean? Like, you be talking. This is the whole thing why people say that about you, though. I get why that person made that comment and shit like that. They make the comment because you're like, oh, if this is in the street, I will fight. Or I used to drag people. Or I can drag the fuck out of, even though y'all ain't never seen me do it, I can drag the fuck out of somebody. But I just want to take this other type of approach and shit like that. I think that what they're saying is, don't say you're going to do something if you're not going to do it. Just do what you do and be yourself and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And also, just because we can roast and we can drag motherfuckers and shit like that, don't mean you have to. You can be, you know what I mean? Just be yourself. I feel like YouTube Cameras is herself. Has she had to cuss a couple motherfuckers and shit like that? Yeah. But for the most part, on her day-to-day, like, she'll respond just to let you know she ain't no punk. But on her day-to-day, she does her commentary as herself. She's not out here trying to be, you know, roasting and gagging or explaining that or anything. She just does her content and her commentary. You know what I'm saying? She don't really never try to do. She just does her. She don't try to do other people. She just does her. You know what I mean? Yeah, I seen that, and I seen RNY's live today, 1099. So 1099 said RNY was in the chat last night and received a membership. I'm glad you brought that up. So RNY went live today and said that she wasn't in the chat and she's not subscribed. And it just randomly gave her a membership because she used to be subscribed. Now, I will say, like, I don't believe that. I think that when people get memberships, it's because you're up there in the bushes. I would never receive that because, what's up, Yaya? I would never receive a membership from somebody because I never turned the membership shit on. If I'm going to get I don't want a free membership. If I'm going to get a membership with it for a bitch, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to pay for it and shit like that. I'm not getting no, so I don't want no free membership to nobody. So I don't got the free memberships on. So you'll never pop me up in your bushes, you know what I mean, with a membership because I don't have that shit turned on in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But, You're calling bullshit, and you have every right to. I believe that she explained it a different way. I believe she was probably up in the bushes, and she got the membership and shit like that. Because, you know, you're in the bushes. You don't know nobody's going to gift memberships, and then you just, you get popped and drop down out, and it shows that you got something and shit like that, right? But this is what I'll say about that. About ZX, I'm not subscribed to you all, and I don't. And even her saying that. Okay, I'm in the beef sector. This is where I get my content and my commentary from. I am subscribed to all of you, each and every one of you. Even if you don't, like, if I fuck with you and I know you got a channel and shit, I'm subscribed to Hypnotics page and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm subscribed to each and every one of you. Now, do I have my notifications turned on for any of y'all? Nah, I don't have my notifications turned on for each and every one of y'all. I just have to come on YouTube and scroll down the feed and actually see that y'all are live. I only have my notifications turned on for a few people, few heavy hitters, you know what I'm saying? Like, and my people that I fuck with, like James, like Deanna, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't have my notifications turned on for all y'all, but I am subscribed to each and every one of your channels. Y'all all watch each other and stuff like that. How would y'all do content and talk about, this is a gossip sector where people watch each other and talk about each other. How do y'all all, and then it's like fake, well, I ain't watching you, but I have somebody like, I mean, I have people out here watching if I miss something and stuff like that, but I see a lot of things myself. I'm subscribed to everybody, and if I'm beefing with a bitch, I'm watching your channel, period, point blank. Until we stop beefing and you start talking about some other shit and you start boring the hell out of me to make me not want to look over there no more. But when we're actively into it and shit like that, I'm actively watching your motherfucking channel, period, point blank. So I can actively come the fuck back up on here and actively drag the motherfucking dog shit out of you. So I'm gonna see. And even if somebody sends me, like in my crew, they send me a link or they tell me this and that's going on over there, I don't want to go by their word that, oh, what they say. They said this, this, and that. No, just point me in a direction. I'm going to go watch the shit my motherfucking self because I want to hear everything. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to drag your motherfucking ass. But I'm subscribed to everybody in the beef sector and all of the people in the black sector that do content with the people in the beef sector. You know, I don't have my notifications on for all y'all, but I am subscribed to every last one of y'all. Okay. So, and you just, people put me up on that like a long time ago, like Harley Q and them used to tell me like, oh, this is going, I'll be like, no, I'm not subscribed to them. I'm not subscribed to them. I'm not subscribed to them. And they told me like, shit, so I subscribe to everybody because, you know, nothing might not go down on this person's channel. Like, T Velocity, I'm subscribed to her. She ain't been doing nothing. She been back doing a little content. I haven't clicked on any of it because she ain't beefing with nobody. But 6 months from now, her and so might get into it, and I might have to go over there. I don't want to have to search and find her page and all that type of shit. I already got it. So I'm subscribed to everybody. I watch everybody. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, you're a fan of me and you're a fan. We're all fans of each other. When our paths cross and we have to do content on each other, we watch each other and we come up on here and we make videos. I don't want to hear that. I don't watch you on a regular basis. I don't watch old folks on a regular basis because he's corny and I don't like his content and I don't like his commentary and stuff like that. But when he's into it with certain people, I'm not even talking about myself. When that shit went down with Rodney, you know, the people chit chat and they talking, hey, Rodney went over there and did an interview over there and he done told on us out where over there on ZX's. Oh, let me go over there and watch that. So do I watch every video you do, every live you do? No, but if you're into it with certain people, I'm gonna go over there and watch you just like I watch them. I want to watch y'all go back and forth and see, you know what I mean, what the exchange was. That I'm just using him as an example. I do that with each and every one of y'all. I do that with all of y'all. Okay. I don't watch anybody on a regular basis, like I said, except for the people that I have a notification on for, like Deanna or James or whatever. But I don't watch any of y'all every video y'all make or no type of shit like that. It's mostly word spreads in the street, or I see other people doing content on something that happened over on your channel. So then I go over there and see what happened over there. But I'm not going to be up there lying or denying or nothing. I'm subscribed to every single one of y'all, and I watch y'all if necessary. And, you know, definitely watch y'all to drag y'all and come up on here and do my content. I don't see how y'all could go back and forth with people you don't watch or you don't know what's going on. Or y'all claim to not watch somebody or not know what's going on, but then you'll do a live and say what happened over there on their channel. If you don't, if you'll in the same live, you'll say, I'm not subscribed to that person. I don't watch that person. But then when you get to talking and doing your commentary, you'll get into what happened over there. Well, how do you know what happened? If, well, somebody sent me, you was over there in them bushes watching. Like, y'all need to just stop lying. Y'all need to just stop lying, period, point blank. I don't gotta lie. I watch bitches and I drag bitches, period, point blank. I don't care what y'all say, fans or whatever. Sometimes I am, sometimes I ain't. Just depends on what you're doing and what you got going on over there. Period. Okay. So that's that on that. I hate the fakery around here and everybody acting like they don't watch each other and stuff and they don't watch nothing and they're not subscribed to nobody, but y'all know everything that goes on every motherfucking where. Like, y'all need to cut that fake ass shit, period. Ain't nothing wrong. Like, I don't even watch you. Like, what? Like you watch me. I don't watch you. That's not a read or a drag or no type of shit like that. If you got ops and you're beefing with somebody, you're supposed to watch them motherfuckers. Like, that's the name of the game. Like, shit, dumb. So that, but Envy and Pizarro, she drug him and cussed him out, and he came back and said that he don't got the energy for it. He don't have to and stuff like that. But I don't know. That was just strange. Like, your response to ZX and your response to her. Of course I wanted you, as a fan and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Of course I wanted you to cuss them out. You know what I'm saying? Cuss them back out and stuff like that. But you didn't. That's not your approach. That's not your vibe and stuff. That's cool. Just be yourself. And I just wish you would stop explaining it, why you don't drag or why you don't respond. Just continue on and move right along and be who you are. You don't have to. So that's what I wanted to say about them. And I made this like 32 minutes about them. This is like a regular live. So I wasn't even going to talk about no beef sector shit. Definitely not talk about it for no 30 minutes and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm moving my channel in a different direction. I'll always be beef sector. I'll always come back and drag when it's a good story and it's a good storyline. Just like y'all see me every once a month or a couple times a week, then don't see me for a month or a couple weeks or whatever like that, my B sector content is still going to be like that because I can't force commentary and talk about shit that I'm not interested in, and you know what I mean, subject matters and shit that I'm not interested in. Like they'll still come up on here and talk about in Vegas and your shoes and you had boots in Vegas and stuff. I'm not coming up on here to talk about that. Y'all covered Vegas 2 years ago and y'all come up on here showing the same pictures of Vegas and stuff like that, and you know, Shaquem and his little dirty slippers and shit like that, and Envy out there in some boots and shit. Like, I can't. No. Y'all ain't got no content. So I don't do that. If it's fresh, if it's new, if it's exciting, I'm going to come up on here and deliver it. If it's old, if it's tired, if it's recycled, and if it's boring, I'm not talking about that. Okay? So, and the Vegas was just an example. Y'all do that all the time and recycle all this old ass shit all the motherfucking time. I'm bored with that. And you like you know what I mean, G boots and shit. And you came Brooke and you came up on there and faked the pregnancy. They already covered that. That been long covered, long going, and you still bring the shit back up and back up and back up. Like I'm sick of hearing recycle that shit. If you ain't got nothing new to say, you know, I'm not doing that. So that's why y'all will never see me that much because I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be one of them type of recycle type of content creators and stuff like that. That shit bores me. It keeps saying the same old shit about people and all that. I'm not doing that. Okay. So if you ain't got no fresh reads, if you ain't got no fresh drags and shit like that, stay off the internet and stay out the beef sector and learn how to do something else. Now that's for all y'all. Learn how to do something else. Now, I said I'm taking my so anybody that wants to get out, y'all can just get out now because I'm done talking about that shit. MB, the beef sector, and all that. I'm done with that. So go on, or if you want to listen to me talk, listen to me talk. If that's what you came here for, that's all I got for y'all today. Okay. So today I'm getting into the regular content. Like I said, I'm working on some shit with YouTube, and also then I'm gonna revamp my channel. I'm gonna have somebody do some channel art for me and shit like that. I plan on reaching out to Mika and a couple other folks and seeing, you know what I mean, if they could hook me up with the channel arts and shit like that so I can get my page all nicely decorated. Y'all that have been around for a while, y'all know that I do real content and real commentary and stuff. So you're just getting a notification, RY. I addressed some stuff like, you know, a little bit about y'all topics and stuff earlier. Anyway, so I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to talk about some regular content and shit like that on my channel when the beef sector ain't going on and on. Now, there's some shit I want to talk to y'all about. So today, I got some shit to do outside around my house. So I'm going to get that done today. But I had like an hour, maybe two, to talk to y'all. Drinking my coffee. Already got up. Went to the grocery store, did some things. So I'm cooking today, y'all. So I'm making on a real grill, not the George Foreman. I'm making a pork tenderloin. I'm making some wings and shit like that. I'm making baked macaroni and cheese, baked beans, green beans, and corn on the cob. So I'm going to do that like about 3 o'clock. About 3 o'clock, I'm going to get that together. I'm going out tonight to have a couple of drinks and shit like that. And then, you know, I might come back up on here tonight and do a whole cut up type of live. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm doing all that. I don't know why. I wanted some barbecue. And then I just thought of like, I want this side. So I went to the store and got all that shit. I'm going to hook all that up today. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, in my baked beans, I put ground beef in them, some little barbecue sauce, brown sugar, ketchup, little seasonings, and bell pepper, onion, and that. My green beans, I put potatoes, bacon, little splash of vinegar, you know, the garlic powder and all that type of good shit up in there. And I'm doing my mac and cheese. I'm not going to do the Gina Young cream of chicken today, y'all. But I am going to boil my noodles and put some chicken boiling cubes in my noodles that I make my mac and cheese with. And I'm not doing a cream of chicken because I forgot to buy that shit at the store. So that ain't happening. And then the corn on the cob and shit. Doing the corn on the cob, them wings on the grill, and then the pork tenderloin. So I'm gonna fuck that up. Also, but this is something now why I got y'all here. So I'm gonna be doing real content. Y'all know I do real content and talk about a lot of things. I did a lot of good views on that Papoose and Clarissa Shields video I did before. I did a lot of videos, you know what I mean? A lot of good content videos, but I'm gonna come and bring y'all some real content. So like I said, I'm gonna decorate the StreamYard up once we get the revenue back up flowing and shit like that. And I'm gonna just be a regular content creator. When you see me, you're gonna see me doing a lot of this type of shit until I dip back in the beef sector. I'm never gonna leave the beef sector. So when something good's happening, I'm gonna dip in, I'm gonna talk about that, drag whoever I gotta drag or do what I do. But then in the meantime, I'm still going to try to come on here like at least twice or 2 or 3 times a week and do a live no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Because there ain't no content in the beef sector anyway. So that don't mean that we can't. Just because there's no content in the beef sector, I don't want to talk about the dumb shit that's going on in the beef sector. Don't mean that we can't come up on here and talk and have conversations together. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm getting into the content part. And I need to know what y'all think about this. So a couple weeks ago, right, I had shared on my community wall a story of a surrogate mother, and I believe it was like in Washington State, right? So there was a surrogate mother. There was a couple that she was going to have a kid for, all right, and it was the woman's egg and the husband's sperm. She was just carrying it. So it was the woman's egg and the husband's sperm. The lady was just carrying it. So the baby does not have her DNA at all. You know what I mean? She's carrying this other people's baby. It's their DNA totally. It's not her eggs or anything. She's just the womb that's carrying it, right? Yeah, you watched that? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm bothered. That story crazy, right? So you're coming to get a plate. Okay. Yeah, you read about that? All right. So she's carrying the woman's egg, the husband's sperm. She's the womb. She's carrying the baby. So she's carrying the baby. Some weeks into the term, she goes and gets an ultrasound and stuff like that. So the doctors tell her that the baby has a birth defect, a heart. It's concerning with the heart, a heart defect or whatever. So the baby's going to have a defective heart or whatever. So automatically the surrogate parents, but I think she was like 3 months along or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She was along a little bit when they found this defect in the baby's heart. So the surrogate parents told the surrogate that she needs to go have an abortion, that, they don't want the baby or whatever. She needs to go have an abortion. And they was paying her like, I think $100,000 to have the baby. And they was paying for all her medical expenses, all of her everything for the pregnancy, all her hospital visits, all her hospital care or whatever. And they was giving her some money for doing it, right? So they told her that she needs to have an abortion because the baby has a heart defect. Now, this heart defect that the baby has, though, it could be when it's born, they could have surgery and it could be fixed and they could live like a full regular life or whatever. But the surrogate told her that she needs to go have an abortion. So she wasn't comfortable with that because she didn't want to go have an abortion, because now you're like killing somebody. Like, people's against abortions. You know what I mean? Now you're going to kill a baby. Like, everybody don't believe, like, just because you're paying me to have your baby or whatever, now you don't want the baby no more. So you're telling me that I have to go kill the baby. What's up, Duchess? You're telling me that I have to go kill the baby and shit like that. So she was like, nah, she wasn't comfortable with killing the baby. You know what I mean? Especially when the baby has something that was treatable, that once it's born, it could have a surgery and it could live its full life or whatever. You know what I mean? It could be treated, So she ended up just carrying the baby full term because she wasn't comfortable with having an abortion. So they was like threatening her and all types of stuff like that. Something was up in the States where the laws in Washington. So she even moved. She already had 3 children of her own. So she moved from Washington State, uprooted, moved to Texas. They cut off all her funds. So they weren't paying for her doctor's visits. They weren't paying for anything. So she moved to Texas or whatever. And she had the baby. She moved to Texas. She ended up having a baby. When the baby was born, they performed the emergency surgery or whatever. And like within 24 hours, the surrogate couple put a took the baby or something, put a restraining order or whatever, so the lady can't have no contact with the baby and all types of stuff. Even though they didn't want the baby, they got a court order, put a restraining order, so she can't have no dealings with the baby in 24 hours after the baby was born. And I believe that couple took the baby back now with them or whatever, and now they're suing her for like $250,000. So they was going to pay her the $100,000. She's all in debt because she didn't want to kill the baby. So she's all in debt because she didn't want to kill the baby. She has all these medical bills and everything because she didn't want to kill the baby. And now she's being sued by the people all because she didn't want to have an abortion. So what do y'all think about that? You said that's why because she was under contract. The contractor stairs. If there's any defection or illness, the baby must be aborted. She brought. Oh, that was my try. So that was in the contract that she signed. See that's different. I knew she had signed a contract to have the baby. And I think she went to Texas because the abortion laws or something like that were different. Now, if she signed I would say the couple is wrong. That's what I would say. Like, you can't tell me. They can't tell her what to do with her body. If she's against having an abortion or you know what I mean, against abortion and killing a baby, then you can't make her have an abortion or whatever like that. And if they didn't want the baby, even though it has their DNA, and she chose to have it and raise it up or whatever because she wasn't comfortable with killing it, I feel like that's her right. And they said that they're suing her because she broke the contract. You're exactly right. But I didn't know if the contract was that's the part I didn't get into. I didn't know if the contract was like, I mean, how you go on contract to tell me what to do with my body? But I didn't know if the contract was like just to have the baby or if that was actually in the clause, like if there's any defect or whatever, you must have an abortion. Because if she read that contract and she agreed that if there was any defects or anything with the baby, I will have an abortion. And she signed that contract. She read and signed that contract. I'm sure they did it through lawyers. So if she read and signed that contract and shit like that through lawyers, and she agreed to have an abortion, if something like that happened, then yeah, because you can't double back and say, like, I'm against abortion. You can't tell me what to do with my body. If you signed a contract saying you were willing to do that if in the event that something happened. No, Rick, it's still their baby. She had yeah. I mean, it is. It's true. Yeah, that is their baby too. That's a crazy ass story, ain't it? Yeah, so it's still their baby though. It's the wife's egg and it's the husband's DNA. The girl was just carrying the baby, but the baby is actually fully theirs. The DNA and shit like that is fully theirs. So yeah. Now the couple can back out, but can't tell her to have an abortion unless they specifically stated it in the contract. That's what I'm wondering, Sonia, and that's what wasn't clear. So the story's down on my community wall and stuff like that. And it's a short story. It's only like 13 minutes long or something like that. But it said that they were under contract and the couple was suing her because they were under contract. Like she was under contract to have the baby and it was their baby. But I didn't know. They didn't mention if in the contract is stated that if there was illness or anything like that, that she would agree to have an abortion. They didn't mention that. So now if that was in the contract, and it was a defect and they opted to not have the baby and she signed a contract saying she would abort because she was down with aborting before she even took their baby into her body. You know what I'm saying? Then you can't double back and say you're against it if you signed a contract saying you would do it if that would happen. You know what I'm saying? So then that would make her wrong. I see both sides, but like once it's in you and stuff like that too, I could see like the sentimental, emotional part too. Even if you did sign that contract, once the baby's inside of you and it's growing and you're showing and stuff like that and everything, and you can see the baby and all that on an ultrasound, I could see why even with a contract, it would be hard for somebody to decide like, hey, like they thought everything was going to go smooth. Now it's not. I think it would be, I could see even a mother still being like, nah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with killing a baby. It's going to put the future surrogate process in. Choreo, it should in all states change like laws like that. It should be clear, like, hey, if the baby's sick or whatever like that, the abortion thing, it should be clear in the contract that you should know what you're, you know what I mean, getting into. But the surrogate can't tell me what to do with the egg I gave her. That's my egg. You're right. You're like, that's total. You're right. Because it's just her body that's carrying. You're right. So technically, it's not technically her having an abortion. It's you having an abortion. Or you deciding what to do. Not having an abortion. But it's you deciding what to do with your baby, your egg, and your sperm. It's you deciding, not her deciding. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is strange. Like, I can kind of see her, like the mother's point. I was thinking like that's bad for the people to do that. But once my tribe mentioned that was in the contract about if the baby's sick or whatever, you know, they'll choose to abort, then you signed up for that. You knew like if there's complications, you would have to get an abortion before you even implanted them people's eggs in your body. So yeah. That's crazy. I don't even know what to say or how to take that or whatever. I mean, I guess if that's in a contract, she's obligated to follow the contract. So if she gets sued or whatever, that's on her. And if she's stuck with hospital bills and shit she broke the contract. So technically they wouldn't have to pay her. And it didn't say that she was countersuing them. It said they were suing her. What the whole ad was to raise money, which she was, though. You know she was. If you're putting stories out like that, so they put the story out like that nationally and stuff like that. And so now she has a GoFundMe or whatever, which she got some racks and racked up some money in there. The surrogate has a GoFundMe to pay for her medical bills, since they didn't pay for her medical bills, and to pay for a lawyer for her to fight them people. Yeah, I do see both sides. But you can't ignore the contract. I agree. I agree, my tribe. And I'm glad you came up in here and you said that, because that brings some clarity too. If there was a clause in the contract that said you had to have an abortion in the event that something went wrong through the birthing process or whatever, you signed that. You read it and signed it. And you could have said, no, actually, this contract, I'm not with the abortion part. Like, whatever happens, happens, but I wouldn't be comfortable with having an abortion. Then you don't sign the contract and they go and find another surrogate that's going to do things the way that they want done. I don't know how far along she was, Cosmic, but I'm thinking pretty far along. If you can do an ultrasound and you can like see the baby and you can see the heart and everything, and like, because don't it take a while for the heart to develop and all that stuff to develop to where you can see it and stuff like that? So I'm certain it was probably formed. The baby was probably formed if they seen all that and stuff like that, you know. So that's wild. So I wanted to bring that up to y'all, and just like, I think that's a good discussion. And we're going to be discussing some things like that I see. I watch a lot of shit. I watch a lot of shit on the internet. So, yeah, and that too, Cosmic Girl. So, like right now with all these like abortion laws and stuff like that, how was she able to even have an abortion? You take a risk with having a surrogate. Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought there was like laws or people, and is that Roe versus Wade stuff still in effect, or are people allowed to have abortions again if they want or whatever in the country? I don't even know. Is like abortions banned, or are people allowed to have abortions? I think that's why she went to Texas, because the laws were different or some type of shit. They're going to end up paying her child support. She don't even have the baby no more. Charlene, the couple, the parents took the baby back. So the parents got the baby. The surrogate don't even have the baby. Oh, it was overturned. Yeah, the parents don't even have the baby. So I mean, the parents have the baby. The surrogate don't even have the baby. She don't even have a baby. She's stuck with medical bills, and she's being sued for doing what she did. Yeah, that too. Yeah, I know you can't have a abortion if you're past a certain term, and it said something like that too. It's been a couple of weeks since I watched the video, but she was still within the terms to have an abortion. But I know some states, like, because Pennsylvania, I know girls that was like, you know, girls that used to have I know girls that used to have like mad abortions and shit like that. But in Pennsylvania, yeah, you could only be like so far along, so many weeks or whatever like that. And so the people from Pennsylvania, some girls from Pennsylvania, they would go to like Ohio because you could be like further along and have an abortion. But yeah, if the baby's developed, it got its whole body. Like, I mean, if you got pregnant in like a month or I guess 2, I don't know how long it takes to develop, but like 8 weeks or 4 weeks or something, and you had an abortion where the baby wasn't like even developed yet or something like that, maybe I could see that. But if you're like 5 months, 4 months or something, like the baby's like a fully developed baby and all that type of stuff, I don't know. That shit's kind of sick to me. But I mean, it's your choice. I feel like it's your choice too. Like it's not my body, not my finances, not my decisions or whatever the case may be. So that's up to the people. Whoever wants to do it, do it. Whoever's against it, be against it. That's not my place to tell you what to do with your body or no type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens, you know. You could say all kind of shit. You should be on birth control. You should be wearing condoms. You could be, but shit happens. And I also understand that there's a lot of kids in a foster care system and stuff like that. If you're not prepared and kids in fucked up situations and you know what I'm saying? So, and just fucked up houses, fucked up dirty households and all kind of shit like that. So the kid might be worse off and, you know, emotionally scarred from growing up in, you know, filth and squalor and whatever the case may be. So I feel like if you're not, you shouldn't bring a kid into the world, but that means you could wear a condom or you could have birth control or whatever. Don't mean you have to have an abortion, but I mean, you shouldn't have kids unless you can take care of them. That's what I think. But that's who that's on you. And you're in anything in life, your choices are your choices. That ain't for me to tell you what to do. In any, not even abortion, in any situation. I'm not the judge or the jury. It ain't up to me. Whatever you feel you need to do it. You know what I mean? Whoever you are, whatever, that's on you. Be you, do it, do what's comfortable and what you can live with. You know what I mean? It's not up to me to tell you what to do or how to live your life. That's how I feel. You said pull it out, swallow condoms, none of your business. Okay, so some other things that I've been watching. So there's some things going on in the rap world. But another thing, since I got a lot of ladies in here, we talking about surrogates and shit like that. I probably weeded out most of the weirdos and shit like that. So y'all probably know Nikki Gilbert. Was it Nikki Gilbert in Brownstone, I think? Well, and she also was the producer of the R&B Divas and shit like that. But I think she was in Brownstone. She was in one of them groups. But my friend Trina put me onto her YouTube page and shit like that. If some of y'all might watch it already. What's up, Tweety? But it's WIRF TV. So, and so Nikki Gilbert got her own little podcast up on YouTube. Yeah, it was Brownstone, wasn't it? And she's interviewing a lot of people. Some of y'all might watch it and shit like that, but she got a good ass show. You know what I mean? Her show's real good. And so last week I listened to an interview that she did. She interviewed Tamika Scott from Escape and shit like that. And I've seen a lot of their interviews and stuff like that before. But this one, she dug like real deep into everything, like the history of Escape, some falling outs with some group members, her and her sister falling out. And she also went through her upbringing and stuff like that, like just got more personal with her stories. Like her dad used to sing in the church. He used to make them sing around the house all the time and stuff like that. She wasn't as confident as her sister. You know what I'm saying? But they used to make them sing hymns all the time and sing about everything and sing about schoolwork, singing in the house. She said her relationship, like with their relationship with Candy and her, Candy and Tiny, you know what I mean? They had grew up together. They went to school together. They're like the same age and they was running around together. Her sister's older. Her sister was a singer or whatever. And they met up as friends, just running around and going to the roller skating ring and hanging out and shit like that. They had no plans on being in a group or singing or any type of shit like that. They started all that later, but they were real friends for real life. She went through her whole family story and stuff like that. It's really good. So if y'all like Tamika Scott, check out WIRF TV, or she got a whole bunch of shit on there. Nikki Gilbert got a whole bunch of shit. She interviewed a whole bunch of people. So, but y'all would like her channel if y'all ain't subscribed to her channel yet. Y'all would like that channel. It's WIRF TV. She does interviews and stuff like that, and she's really good at it. Y'all would like that. I even seen Michelle Obama. She might have been doing it, but I seen her recently because she interviewed Mary J. Blige, and then she interviewed Megan Thee Stallion the other day. But Michelle Obama, I like them. I like the Obamas. People hate on the Obamas, but I like them. They're regular, like down to earth people, very like personable, somebody you could just chit chat with and talk to. They're very regular and very humble. They don't act like all uppity or stuck up like a president or a politician. You know what I'm saying? They seem like really down to earth, round the way type of people. So I have been checking out Michelle Obama's podcast as well. Have any of y'all watched Michelle Obama's podcast? But so I've been watching shit like that. Now into the some other shit that I watched as well is they're self-made people. I like them. I like them a lot. They are very humble and shit like that. They're just like regular, like everyday people. And they just give you that feel like if they can do it, yeah, they did a lot of hard work, a lot of college, a lot of schooling and stuff like that. But it feels like if they can do it, anybody can do it. They really make you feel like you can really be whatever you want to be in this country and succeed and shit like that. Like I like the Obamas. They're dope. But also I watched another good interview because I like to learn shit. I like educational shit. I'm very smart and shit like that. So I like to listen to shit like this, like people talking and stuff. I like this a lot of game and shit like that. But another interview that I watched that got a lot of game is Mona Scott. She don't really do too many interviews and shit like that. But a couple weeks ago, she did an interview. She interviewed with Angie Martinez. And I love Angie Martinez and how she is as an interview and how she gets to the question. She seems very personable too and around the way type of person. She'll cry with them. She'll laugh with them. Angie's dope. So Angie Martinez and Mona Scott, if y'all haven't seen that, they have an interview together. And Mona, the same thing. She's telling like from Haiti to her mother and them coming over here. She was left over there with her grandparents and shit like that. She had came over, you know what I'm saying? She had went to New York. She was working with Chris Lighty and all that type of shit, you know what I'm saying, coming up. First, she was like doing other shit and working for a call center and doing this and doing that. And like how she really worked her way up from the bottom. She started college, but it wasn't her. So she dropped out after one semester. You know what I mean? She never finished college or whatever. But she's self-taught. She's self-educated. She's self-taught. She just went up in rooms and she worked different jobs. And once she conquered one job, she applied for another one. And she just tells her life from the bottom all the way to, you know what I mean, where she is today. So that's a good interview. Also, I see Dolly Parton, and I don't really know like a whole lot about Dolly Parton. I just know like she's been around for a long time. But on Facebook, on social media, black, white, Latinos, young people, old people, everybody is showing Dolly Parton love, period, point blank. So that just lets you know right there that she was a great person, a great woman, and a profound person, because I see Dolly Parton getting so much love, period, point blank, from everybody, from all age groups, all demographics, all nationalities and stuff like that. Now, I have been to Gatlinburg a couple times. I've seen Dollywood and stuff like that, but they said like she built, like they said she gave $500 million to feed. I don't know. I ain't really researched Dolly before I came to fuck up on this live, but they said she gave $500 million or something throughout her career to feed people and stuff like that. They said she created Dollywood, which is in Sevierville, Tennessee, which is next to Pigeon. Well, Dollywood's in Pigeon Forge. She's from Sevierville, and Gatlinburg's down the road. I know that because I've been to Gatlinburg several times. But yeah, she definitely must have been a human. I ain't gonna speak on Dolly like I know her that well, but she must have been a humanitarian and stuff. So she created Dollywood and stuff like that because that region, you know, there wasn't a lot of jobs and shit like that. So she created that to give the local people jobs and stuff like that. Is why she created the amusement park. She didn't create it to make money or whatever like that. She created it to create local jobs for her area in her hometown or where she's from. That is dope. I just know that she was in like a lot of movies and stuff like that. And I know that they said she wrote both. They said she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day. Like, so I know she was talented. I know she got a lot of like love and respect and stuff like that. But I just didn't know like how far her reach was until she passed away. I see her being shared around by everybody and everybody talking about Dolly Parton and stuff like that. When somebody talks about you like that and then nothing negative, I don't hear anything. I don't hear any scandals through all her 80 years of living and shit like that. And they said she been singing or whatever since she was 11. She recorded her first record like in the studio when she was 13. I don't hear no type of scandals or no type of dirt thrown on Dolly's name at all whatsoever. Oh, she was very giving. Yeah, that's dope. Like, and you know, you don't come across a lot of people like that. Some people get money and stuff like that, and they forget where they came from, or they're stuck up and stuff like that. They get this like diva type of attitude. Like, I feel like Nicki Minaj is like that. They said that, you know, Mariah Carey's like that. They said Mary J. Blige is a fucking bitch and hard as hell and evil to work with. You know what else I heard when I was out shopping today? Like, I listened to the weirdest shit. Like, y'all wouldn't even believe. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was just listening to this one part. I'll share it. I was just listening to this interview earlier when I was out grocery shopping and shit. Weird as hell because the beef sector is dead and ain't nothing going on, y'all. It's a backup singer for Aretha Franklin, and she lived with Aretha Franklin. And she was her backup singer and stuff. She lived with Aretha Franklin. She traveled with her and everything like that. But it was the same thing. She said she was a perfectionist. She wanted her style. I listened to it this morning. She said she's perfectionist. She wants her shit perfect and stuff like that. And she said she used to yell at them and cuss them out and all types of shit like that. You know what I mean? They said she was a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of people that come from nothing and stuff like that, once they get money, they get stuck up and they act like arrogant and stuff like that. You know, but I don't hear them stories. What's up, Jasmine? But I'm not hearing nothing. I'm not hearing no type of dirt coming out on Dolly at all. Dolly's hands is clean. You know what I'm saying? I think it was. Let me see, because I just watched it this morning, but I didn't finish it. I forget how to I forget how to look up to them. Like the history. Oh, here we go. It is no, it was Aretha. This lady's name is Brenda Franklin Corbett. And she said that when she was growing up, her name, so I'll share it on my thing. But it's Brenda Franklin Corbett, and she grew up with Aretha Franklin. And she been traveling with her ever since she was like a kid and shit like that. But she said that she was a bitch. She said she was a bitch. She's told her, she was like, one day Aretha hurt her feelings. She was like, when she was a kid, before she even started singing backup for her or whatever, she was like, she was a kid and she was like singing. She said, because the choir, she was the only little kid. She wanted to sing with the adults. And so the choir let her sing with the adults. So they pulled up a chair and stuff like that. And they used to let her sing or whatever. And then so she said she was singing one day. She was singing around the house and stuff because she knew Aretha and shit. So she was like singing. And Aretha said, "Why are you singing? Stop that singing." And she said, "What? What do you mean?" She said, "You can't sing." And she was like, "What? I can't sing." And she was like, "No, you can't sing. You sound horrible. Stop singing," or whatever like that. And she said it just broke her heart and it hurt her feelings and stuff like that. And she was crying and everything like that. But then she said when she was 18, so she said she kept working at it though. She kept working at it, working at her singing and stuff like that. And then when she was 18, she was singing with somebody named Carol. Y'all know somebody named Carol, older lady. And anyway, she was singing with Carol, and then when she was late, Aretha ended up moving from Detroit and going to New York. And when she went to New York and stuff like that, she called her and brought her along. And so they was with her. Her and Carol was with Aretha as her backup singers pretty much throughout Aretha's whole career and stuff like that. But she said she wanted her stuff. Aretha wanted her stuff perfect. She used to go off on them and cuss them out and everything and like scream at them. She used to say she was quitting. She used to tell them that she don't need them and she don't need to deal with them or nothing like that. But she said she took it as she just wanted to be a perfectionist and she really cared about them and stuff like that. She used to just go off on them and take stuff out. Is that her sister? Yeah, it is her sister. Matter of fact, it's her younger sister. Yeah. Oh, Carol's her sister? No, she might be her sister because her name is Brenda Franklin Corbett. Carol might be her sister too. Was it her whole family? No, she's not related because the way she would have said our brother. She said Aretha's brother was her manager. She said she liked to keep people close to her and family close to her and stuff like that. And she was like, Aretha's manager was her brother. So she would have said our brother if she was the sister. So I don't think she was her sister. But Carol might be. Carol might be her sister. She traveled all around on the bus. She was not a plane flyer. Yeah, I heard that too. But this is really that's really good. I'll share it on my wall. Y'all like that. Y'all like it. So, and I didn't even finish it. I'm halfway through it. I didn't even finish the whole. This lady's name is Brenda. Carol might be her sister. You know what I mean? But Brenda was hanging with Carol and singing with Carol. And then when she was 18, Aretha brought her and Carol along to be her backup singers. But she said Aretha was a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Which, like I said, a lot of them are. I heard the same stories about Mary J. Blige, and she would throw shit at people's heads and do all kind of shit. But like I said, Dolly, she seemed like a stand-up lady the way everybody's out here talking about her and representing for her and stuff like that. And so earlier on Facebook, I seen a thumbnail that was like Michael Jackson, Prince, Elvis, what's that? George Michael, and this all the it was James Brown, all the legends that passed away, and they were like all standing at the gates of heaven with their hands out, and they was telling Dolly like to come home, and it just showed like the back of Dolly like walking up the steps, and they were all along the steps. I thought that was real dope. But all the legends were like all along the steps, and they said, "Come home, Dolly," and it showed like Dolly's back as she was walking up the steps, going up to greet them and shit like that. I thought it was dope. You seen that thumbnail? Yeah, it was beautiful. I might change that and make that this thumbnail. Yeah, that was dope. But shout out to Dolly. Rest in peace to Dolly. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that's the way. That's the way you want your career to be. That's, the contributions that you want to make on the world. And that's how you want to leave. That's how you want to leave. Just like that. That's how you want to come in. That's how you want to do it. And that's how you want to leave perfectly. Just like that. Which I already messed mine up. I already messed my legacy up fucking with y'all. You know what I mean? I already messed my legacy up fucking with y'all and shit like that. If I ever do anything great in the future in my life and I'm like such a humanitarian, they're going to be like, yeah, well, he used to be on B Sector and YouTube dragging kids and stuff like that. I already fucked up my shit. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Dolly. I wish I could be, more like Dolly and leave the legacy that Dolly left behind. But ever since I found the B Sector and I started fucking with y'all and talking about this shit like that, I done fucked my whole motherfucking legacy. No, I'm bothered. I can't, because no matter what I do now from here on out, I could do the best shit. I could get super rich, be a humanitarian, build schools, and do all this type of shit. And, these motherfuckers are still going to pop up. They're going to pop up with my old video clips and shit of me cussing out, dragging kids and dragging people and everything. I done fucked my shit up fucking with y'all. I done fucked my legacy up fucking with y'all. I could have been a good person. Fucking with y'all. I done fucked my whole motherfucking legacy up for life. Damn. Now, another thing I want to talk about is it's young people stuff, which I don't like. I don't listen to Bootsy. Never listen to Rod Wave, but like the kids listen to it, like my kids and stuff like that. But I don't listen to no Rod Wave. I never listen to nothing. His music is depressing and it just sounds like drugs and suicide. His music just sounds like drugs and suicide and just you're never happy and you're just very depressed and down in the dumps to me. But the young people, they like that type of music. You know what I'm saying? But Boosie and Rob, Boosie and yeah, I might have to do that, bar dog. But Boosie and Rod Wave are arguing right now because Rod Wave sampled some of Boosie's music in his own music. So Rod Wave sampled some of Boosie's music in his music, and he offered to pay Boosie $100,000. Boosie said, "No, I don't want $100,000. I want $150 for using my music and my likeness." But this is where the blurred lines come in. You know what I'm saying? So, but Rod Wave had the music cleared, like his label had the music cleared, which means that the music that Rod Wave sampled of Boosie's, Boosie doesn't own. Even though it's Boosie's music, Boosie doesn't own the masters. The label owns the masters. So Rod Wave's label got the music cleared through the company that owns the music. So he really don't have to pay Boosie anything because Boosie don't own the music. It's not his music. Somebody else owns his master. So I guess Boosie's all online calling Rod Wave out for stealing, saying he owes some money and saying he's going to take him to court and sue him. But the music that he sampled, Boosie didn't own. They got it cleared before they even put the music out. So do y'all think Rod Wave really owes? Yeah, I like him too. I like you. But do you think Boosie really owes Rod Wave money? How could he owe Rod Wave money if Rod Wave's label got the shit cleared through the people that own it? He don't really owe him anything. So that's going on. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, there's Tupac, Mo 3. I don't think Boosie owes Rod Wave anything if Rod Wave got the music cleared. Once it's cleared for copyright, he don't owe you really anything. If he wants to give you something just to be like, here, big bro, I know this is your shit. Here's a couple $, but he don't technically have to. If he got it legally cleared, he don't technically have to give Boosie anything. The last thing I want to talk about, okay, so it's like the Tupac, the Mo 3, Lil Durk, all these people are on this murder trials going on for all these people. Okay. Tupac was killed. Mo 3 was killed. Lil Durk's on trial for sending a hit out to kill Quando Rondo, and one of Quando Rondo's friends got killed. Now, in the Lil Durk trial, in a situation, in all these situations show that people snitch, number one. People snitch. The street, that's why I'm glad I'm like my age and shit like that, not like dumb and young no more. But the street snitch. People in the streets are not really your friends. They don't give a fuck about you. They will tell on you, and so they think like, oh, this gang or whatever, this is your family, this is your people, nobody gives a fuck about you. They will throw you up under the bus and sell you on up the motherfucking creek in a fucking heartbeat, period, point blank. All the shit they be talking and all that shit is fake. You don't know these people. Like, why would you put your trust in the street people? And then in Lil Durk's situation, like, you are a millionaire. Once you hit a millionaire, you get away from them bitches and let them bitches do what they do in the motherfucking streets and separate your motherfucking self from all that bullshit. How you still talking on the phone with them? How you still supporting them when they're motherfucking in jail and all prisons and all types of shit like that? You're supposed to remove yourself and get yourself away from that type of shit. Like, so you just, regardless if you did it or not, I don't know if you did it or not, because like there's the dude snitching, and I don't know, the stories don't be adding up, and you don't know just because they're a celebrity and the feds want this person because this person's a high profile. They don't want your little dusty, crusty ass that's in the motherfucking street. They want this high profile person because they want all this attention. They're seeking attention and fame and shit too, like the DAs, the lawyers, all that type of shit. They're all seeking attention and motherfucking fame being associated with a case that has to do with a high-profile individual. So people lie on high-profile individuals all the time. We don't know exactly if I'm not convinced that Lil Durk has something to do with this or not. I know that he was affiliated with somebody that he thought that was his friend, and they did a 12-year prison sentence, and he was sending money, putting money on their books, looking out for their mother and all types of stuff because he considered this street person to be his friend, only for this street person to catch 3 murders himself and then turn around and now he's on trial. Maybe he did. People have money do shit. You know what I mean? Maybe he did put out a hit or whatever. I'm not saying Lil Durk's innocent. He might be, he might not be, but you have personal evidence and a personal relationship with a high profile individual. All the feds want is like a juicy story and a juicy conviction and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And with the feds, like your conviction rate is super high. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Lil Durk didn't sit down or whatever, but that's what he gets for surrounding himself with people like that. Once you make it, the point is to make it and get out the motherfucking hood. And even if you're out the hood, get away from them people. And everybody can't come. You know what I mean? Everybody can't come. Everybody can't come along and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know how many friends I had when I was young, like in the streets, like 20s and shit like that, running around. I do not talk to, don't see, don't deal with at all right now. At all. I don't know where they're at. What they're doing, I don't know shit about them unless I hear like a rumor in the street or whatever. But I don't talk to them no more on the phone. I'm not hanging with them or whatever. Everybody can't come because everybody ain't on the same mission. Some people are successful. Some people went on to have families and are great fathers and are great mothers and stuff like that. And some people are in jail and in prison and everybody can't go. We ain't all on the same fucking path. Period. Point blank. Okay, so it's to make it out of the situation and never look back. They never go back. Or it's to be caught up in the situation and, you know what I mean? That's where your bed lies at. But anyway, so I think that was going on with Lil Durk and them. So they all hanging together, they all ganging it and all that type of shit. But and they putting out hits and murders and all types of shit and doing all kind of shit with the whole thing with the FBG ducks and all that. Why did ducks killers get convicted and stuff like that? They got convicted because somebody always snitches. In all these cases, somebody snitching. Tupac murder trial right now, somebody snitching. Keefe D snitched on himself and was doing all types of interviews and shit like that and thought he had some type of immunity or whatever. They're all snitching on herself. Mo 3, how did that killer get caught or whatever? Mo 3 got shot on the highway and it was whatever, surveillance. People have masks and everything, but somebody's on trial right now for it. Why is somebody on trial? Because somebody snitched. None of these bitches are your motherfucking friends or no type of shit like that. They will throw, you're not nothing to them. They'll sell their own mother out and their own uncle out and their own brothers out and their own sisters. So what the hell would make y'all think that somebody's not going to throw y'all the fuck up under the bus and take the stand on y'all to see the light of day again and have your ass locked all the way the fuck up? And then when you're the one that gets told on, then you ain't got nobody to tell on. You're going to do the big years. You're going to do the big numbers while this motherfucker done murdered 3 people and he's still going to be out taking his kids to basketball games and football games and shit like that while you're the one sitting locked up for ordering it. You done ordered a hit. Now you about to do life in prison for ordering and never see the light of day. And a motherfucker that killed 3 people and told the police he killed 1 for you, he's still going to be taking his son to baseball games in another city or something. They're just going to move to another city and still be, you know, showing up for daddy-daughter day and shit like that after he done killed 3 people and told the police he killed them just to get you through up under the jail because you're more high profile than him. Why would you still be, once you make money and once you get rich, why would you still be dealing with people that come from that? That will never make sense to me. But that ties me into, you know, my last story. That wasn't even my last story. I just wanted to bring that up. But I have a nephew. He's 32. 32 or 33. He's 32, right? He's 32 years old, okay? So I got a nephew. He's 32 years old. Ever since he was young, he was just running around, running wild in the street, like doing all that. Shooting at, selling drugs, doing that, shooting at people, whatever. Got locked up early, probably like 19 or 20. He went to the penitentiary for like 2 or 3 years. He got out. He was out for like maybe like 6 months running around and shit like that. Got locked up for 4 years, whatever like that. Came out. He just did like 4.5 years. So he did like 4 years twice. He just did like 4.5 years. He was out like maybe 2 months ago or whatever. He been locked up for a couple weeks again now. He been out for like probably like 2 months and shit like that. As soon as they get out, this is what they did. Like they get out, and I had a talk with him and everything, and so did my brother. We had a talk with him and shit like that. It's one of my sister's kids, but we had a talk with him and everything like that. But like this is what happens. So when he was running around 19, whatever like that, like some people, they go to jail and they get out and then they go back to jail, they get out. Now he's 30 something, but he, in your mind, like when you spent your like adult life locked up like that, they get out when they're 30 something and they think like that they're still like 19 because the world done passed them by. So when they get out at 30 something, they're like, yeah, so where's all them people? He's on it writing on Facebook and shit like that. Where's all knowing the police be watching Facebook and everything, and then you just got out like that. So, but on there, like, where's the people at? I'm down here on this street right now. I was talking all that shit when I was locked up. Like, I'm out here now, pull up and all this type of shit, doing all that kind of shit, arguing with people back and forth online. Like, it's like the street shit and all this type of shit. But them 30 people that you're arguing with that's online, this is what I try to tell them. They're living somewhere else. They work. They have jobs now. Whatever y'all was running around doing in the street when y'all was 19, when you're 30 something, they ain't doing that no more. Now they're trying to have a little family. They're up in a little house somewhere. They got a little girlfriend somewhere, a couple kids somewhere. They're going to job. And you come out still trying to run around like it's back. Like ain't nobody doing that no more. Like life done passed you by. They're doing something else now. When you get out, you have to find a different way to move. You know what I'm saying? Some people get that. Some people get that. So some people get. I have friends that did get locked up and stuff, and they got out. They got a job in like the oil fields and stuff. Like they ain't been back in like 15 years. And guess what? They have not went and sold drugs or did nothing like that. They haven't went back to the penitentiary. They got a job. They are foremen and stuff like in the natural gas industry. These motherfuckers done bought houses, nice cars. They're raising their families. They got big screen TVs on your. They're smoking like regular fucking cigar. They're like living the life like the real life. You know what I mean? And they're working for it and working hard for it and shit like that. But then you got some people like him. So he was writing all that shit on Facebook, doing all that type of shit like that. Now he's locked back up. I don't think he was out like a hot 6 weeks on some real shit. I don't think I might do that. I might do the cooking and all that, like the decorating, financial, like the decorating shit. Well, I decorated my house, but I've been doing shit like outside projects, outside and shit. I've been doing all kind of like projects outside, like around landscaping, like trying to hook all that up. But anyway, my nephew, so he's locked back up. So we try to talk because he was putting all that and like arguing with people online and trying to prove yourself to shit. Like I told him, and my brother did too, like you're trying to prove yourself to motherfuckers that don't give a fuck. They don't care what you're arguing about, what you're talking about online. They don't care what you have or what you don't have. They're arguing with you so they can, like, you know what I mean, get aroused out of you so you can get locked back up and shit like that. And you're following right like into it. You're following right into what they want you to, like, they ain't gonna do shit. Ain't nobody gonna do shit. They're not gonna do nothing. Like you're out here just putting yourself out here like crashing out and shit like that. But this is another thing. I said all that to say this. Some people too that I know that keep going back and forth to prison and shit like that. And people be like, oh, you must like it. You must like jail. You must like prison and shit like that. Because I have friends like that too that just get out, they're right back in. Get out, they're right back in. Get out, they're right back in. And it don't even have nothing to do with institutionalized or the program. You do get institutionalized and, you know what I mean, fall in line with the program and stuff like that. But I think some people, and this goes for women too, because I know girls that get locked up all the motherfucking time too. Guys that get locked up. But what I think it is that I think like life's too hard, like for them, right? Like, you know, we got to go out here and work every day to drive, to keep our lights on, to put food on our table. You know what I mean? The kids need this and that and this and that. And like for them, they get used to the fact that, oh, well, I'm in here, I get 3 meals. I don't have to worry about having money for my electric bill. I don't have to worry about having money for my rent. I don't have to worry about a car payment, they get like used to that. You know what I'm saying? They get used to just being in there and waking up and 3 meals a day and stuff like that. And like when they're out here in the streets, because that's what I think about my nephew, because he used to have money. Well, he like used to have money, but like how they have money that's like drugs. They're coming right back out like selling drugs and shit like that. And they don't last that long because out here they're trying to keep up an image and stuff like that. Like out here, I'm telling you, he always like Louis Vuitton belts and you know what I'm saying? Don't get out and like buy, like you could buy a fucking Chevy. You want to buy like a used Jaguar or a used Benz so you're living for other people and trying to show off for other people. And you created this image out here that you feel like you have to like keep up. But nobody, they don't give a fuck. Don't nobody give a fuck what you got or what you got going on and shit. You can go off somewhere and blend in with the regular motherfucking society. Why are you still out here in this neighborhood trying to impress these motherfuckers and live up to these people that don't give a fuck about you? That I just won't never understand that. But that's what it is, though. Get out. He gotta like hurry up and get back to the bag and start selling drugs and shit like that, so he can come up online and flash some money to show like, oh, I got this money, I got these shoes, I got this. Like, I just don't understand that. But in reality, the truth is that taking care of your kids and making sure they're financially stable, that shit's hard. You know what I'm saying? For them. Like I said, rent, utilities, and all that stuff, you got to keep up an image. And I believe they go back to jail so they can like rest and relax, and they don't have to have all the stress of living in the real world and, you know what I mean, going through what we go through every day to survive. It's like a cycle like that where people feel like jail is easier. They feel like jail is easier. It's easier to live in jail than it is to live out here in the real world. It's actually, to live out in the real world, it's actually harder. And it's easier just to go live in jail and live by the program and shit like that. But they don't realize like life is, you don't have to put up an image for nobody. Long as you're healthy, long as you have what you need, that's all that matters. And all you got to do is just work. Go work, and you know what I mean? Apply yourself in life and you'll make it. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't want to put in that work to apply themselves. And then they use the excuse, well, I got a record, so now I can't do it. Like, somebody will hire you. You can do something. You can make something shake and shit like that. Yeah, that is. It's institutionalized. But some people think institutionalized is just like acting like the program when you get out. But institutionalized is like, I don't know. They're like giving up. Just give it, like you gave up on life and gave up on living. Some people get out and they're like, I want to make it. I'm never going back in there. Now I know. I learned my lesson. I like you know what I mean? I'm going to go to work. And some people, they're just like, they just give up on life and shit like that. So that, him, I don't know. I thought like this time when he got out, because he's like 30 and shit like that, that he would like have that realization like, oh, okay, fuck all that. I'm trying to be out here. I'm trying to be out here with my kid. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be out here with my girl. I'm going to actually go work this time, and I'm going to say fuck these people and leave them people in the street, and I'm actually going to be an adult and apply myself. But nah, he came right back out. But I think that he's been locked up so much ever since he was like 19, like I said, that he's still immature in the mind. Like, even though he's 32 now, he's still 19 in the brain, or he still thinks people's running around doing the same shit that they was doing back then, and they're not. People that moved on and shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it seems like, unbothered. That's what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. I think mentally he hasn't caught up to, like I'm 30 now. He's still, in his mind, he's still like 19, because that's how he was when he went in. You know what I mean? That's the mind frame that he was in when he went in. When he got out, he don't realize like the world changed. People moved on. You know, people are trying to be dads and they're trying to have little households and stuff like that. They're not outside running around no more. That's other little 18s people doing that. But people his age, they're actually trying to figure out life more and be more established in life and stuff like that. So I don't know if he'll ever get it. You know what I mean? I talked to him before when he was in jail. I talked to him when he was out of jail. And my brother's younger than me, and he looks up like he's close to my brother that's younger than me. So I had him talk to him, and he had a conversation with him and shit like that. But you know what I mean? I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah. No, and they have not prepared themselves for re-entry into society. Yeah, I don't know. Like some friends though, I have like they decided like I ain't going back. They changed their whole motherfucking life, and they have more. It seems they have more than they had when they were selling drugs and stuff like that. Because when they were selling drugs, they might have had a little house, but nothing was in their name. They was living pillar to post, finding places like to hide their money. Yeah, they had a nice car, they had nice clothes every day and stuff like that. But now I see them like buying houses, brand new houses, and doing shit from working and shit like that. I see them like elevate in life, and I see their kids look good, and like they're I see them like go on vacation and shit. Like I see them going on vacation with their family and with their kids and shit like that. That they definitely wasn't doing when they was getting street money. You know what I'm saying? They're spending more time with their families. They're working hard and shit like that. I have a couple friends like that. But that one, but my nephew, yeah, he ain't. But like some of my brothers, my oldest brother, like I told you, went through that. He spent 27 and a half years and stuff like that. He's okay now. He's all right now. But when he first got out in the first couple years, I used to see him walking around and shit like that. And he will be walking like he was still on the yard and shit like that. And he don't really fuck with a lot of people. He like kind of keep to himself type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But those are the topics that I wanted to talk to y'all about. So it's 2:00. I wanted to talk to y'all about those topics. And I want to come up and have these kind of discussions and shit with y'all more often when I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this channel together, and then I'm gonna get my StreamYard together. I'm gonna get my channel art together, and I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna try to do this. You know what I mean? Do these type of conversations, and you know what I mean? Try to have correlating thumbnails and titles and stuff like that, and really try to do some content creator things. And then I'll dip back into the beef sector when it's good. But like I said, just because there's nothing going on in the beef sector, it doesn't mean that we can't come up on here and just talk and have discussions like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't gonna give up on him, sibling, but I don't know. Like his mother can't talk to him. His dad was locked up like that though a lot too. But I mean, I don't know. It's them too. It'd be them. It'd be the kids that, because like growing up, he's one of them kids too that had everything, all the latest Xboxes, shoes, and stuff like that. He's really like, don't even come from the life that he's living. But I don't know. I don't get it. But I'm gonna still talk to him and shit like that, and hope that he see the error in his ways. And now he's locked up on he didn't catch another charge, but he was out on parole. So he's locked up on a parole violation. So I think he'll get out. He ain't gonna have to be in there like super duper long. He'll be back out soon and shit like that. But yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with him again. I'll be doing that with her mom. I told you I got a niece that's a heroin addict. She ain't been on that shit no more or whatever, but she been locked up in prison a lot of times. She been locked up in prison, in jail a lot of times and stuff like that. And I mean, I got a niece that's wild. I got a wild niece and a wild nephew. But that's how families be. I'm just glad like my kids ain't like that. Off and on for 20 years, yeah. Just in and out, in and out, in and out. But I feel like that program and stuff is easier than being out here and being responsible. Being in there and just, is easier for some people than being out here and being responsible. Because, I mean, life is hard. It's hard for all of us. But you got to do what you got to do, to survive and live. Yeah, but that's it. I must go down here and start prepping my food and getting ready to cook this food and shit like that. Like I said, I'm going out tonight to have a couple drinks and shit like that. So you never know. I might be back up on here tonight to talk to y'all and shit like that. So hit that like button for me. This was a great discussion. I wanted to come do this with y'all. And we're going to do it again. You know what I mean? We're going to do it again every so often or whatever. I'm just trying to get my shit together. But hit that like button for me. I'm going to go down here, prep my food, get my shit together. And I'm going to holler at y'all later. Y'all all have a good Joyce. So I'm making a pork tenderloin and wings on the grill. Then I'm making baked macaroni and cheese. I'm making baked beans. And I put ground beef and onions, bell pepper in my baked beans and some other shit. Barbecue sauce, brown sugar, ketchup. And little seasonings and shit. I'm making green beans. I put potatoes, bacon in my green beans, a little vinegar, butter, some other seasonings and shit like that. I'm making corn on the cob. And that's it. I'm making macaroni and cheese, corn on the cob, green beans, baked beans, wings on the grill, and a pork tenderloin on the grill. Okay. I ain't cooked in a minute, sibling. I ain't cooked in a minute. So I felt like I don't want like to eat out. I was going to go to Texas Roadhouse, but I'm like, no, I don't even want to eat out today. I actually want to cook something and shit like that. So I'm going to do that. So I'm about to go down here, start hooking that up or whatever, like I said. And Okay, I'll post something to the shorts. I'm bothered. Yeah, but y'all enjoy y'all Friday and shit like that, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Okay, so I'm out this bitch. Deuces, y'all.